Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to be changing the serpentine belt for the alternator and AC compressor. So please refer to an official Toyota manual, repair manual, or anything before starting. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the negative battery terminal using our 10mm socket, and be cautious that the engine may be hot, so let it cool down. With the negative terminal out of the way, you can also remove the positive if you want. This is the belt we're going after. As you see, it goes from the alternator down around the crankshaft, then under the air conditioning compressor, then back up to the alternator. We're going to be using a 12mm socket, and I'd highly recommend these bolt biter ones if your bolt's at all stripped. I'll have a link in the description to that in a video I made. With a 14mm though, we're going to first loosen this alternator bolt here on the side just enough so that it can pivot. Now with our 12mm, we're going down here on the other side of the alternator. And so as you can see here, the bolt that's coming out is our 12mm one. And again, we're just loosening it a little bit. We don't want it to come all the way out of the alternator. And now with our other 12mm bolt down here, this is the tensioner. With an extension, we're going to actually just turn this counterclockwise, and as we do that, it will release the tension off of the belt. So it actually uses the alternator as the tensioner. So as we're loosening this up, going counterclockwise, that's how we're going to make sure that we get some tension off of this belt, then we can take it off. Now we can remove the belt from the alternator pulley, and it is kind of tight down in there as you take it off of the AC compressor. The frame's pretty close, so you might need to twist the belt slightly sideways just to get it to come up and out of there. So you might have to wiggle it around a little bit. Now we'll compare the belt to the new one, and this is for the V6 Camry, so just make sure you're getting it for the right year, make, and model. We're going to put our new belt down in here, and we're going to first put it around the crankshaft pulley, and then as we come to the air conditioning pulley, we're going to again have to twist this belt slightly sideways just to get it to squeeze down in front of the AC compressor pulley there. So just make sure that you don't twist the belt completely. Make sure when you're done it's all still flat and not twisted at all. Now we'll just take the belt and have it go over the alternator pulley. And so as you finally stretch it over the alternator pulley, it might take a little bit of tension to get this on, but it will flip into place like this. Then just make sure that the belt is going around all the ribs of all three pulleys, and that it's not halfway hanging off of one or the other. And you can see our alternator here is still loose, where we can move it up and down just a little bit. So we're going to take our 12mm socket, and we're going to go ahead and start tightening that tensioner. And so you'll see the alternator start to move upwards and put some tension on the belt. So what I like to do is put one hand on the belt, and as I'm tightening it, just feel that it's all starting to tighten up, and watch it very closely, because you don't want to over tighten that tensioner and bend the bracket. If the belt was too small, for example, you may not notice it, so make sure you have the right size belt. If it's not tightening up in the end, look into it a little bit more. In the end, you should have the belt go around the crankshaft pulley, underneath the air conditioning pulley there, and then up over the alternator, and then back to the crankshaft pulley. So this is what it looks like. We again tightened down this one, and you can see it's rounded pretty good, so we were using that bolt biter socket that really came in handy. And so we went ahead and tightened it down to make sure that it has the proper tension on it. And so the best way to know if you have enough tension is if you twist the belt, it should go about 45 degrees, maybe a little bit less, and almost sound like a guitar when you're playing it here. So just make sure that it's tight enough but not over tightened, and if it's too loose it'll squeak, and so you'll know that. So now our 12mm bolt on the side, we're going to tighten that down. Our 14mm bolt on the top of the alternator, we'll go ahead and tighten that one back down. Just make sure that those are tightened after the tensioner has been put in place. Everything seems good here, so we'll go ahead now and reconnect our battery cable. So we'll put our negative cable back on and tighten it down with our 10mm socket. And again, if you did the positive as well, just make sure the positive goes on first, followed by the ground, or the negative. So thanks for watching. Please check the video description for more videos like this, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks guys.